Hey guys, Adrian Law here, hope you're well. Just thought I'd make a quick video for you. It was great meeting you at the conference and I didn't realise Joe was going away for so long. But I thought I'd make you a quick video just as a bit of a follow-up, check in with you, see how you're doing, maybe give you a little bit of a refresh. So just for a couple of minutes. Interestingly enough, from the people that did the survey, 3 main things came up that you'd like to focus on. One is the need to improve your sales skills. The second one was the effective follow-up that you wanted to get better at. And the third thing was time management. And also from the DISC perspective, we had people like Julian and Andrew and Glenn and a few others that were high D. And then the high I's were people like Joe and Peter and Andrew again and Julian again. And it's kind of interesting because on a conference call with Ian, Joe and Alan, I mentioned that a lot of salespeople in most industries have high D and a bit of high I in them, because the high D is the drive, it's the need for results, it's the need for challenge, whereas the high I is the people part of it and the persuasion, the influence skills. So you just got to be careful. If you're high D and nothing else, you can actually be a bit too much for some people and a little bit too aggressive and a little bit too driven. Remember, people like themselves, so work with your strengths and just adapt yourself as much as possible to the customer. The guys that are high I, I'm high I, so I completely understand where you're coming from. And it's great from a people perspective, an openness, a friendliness perspective. The challenge with high I behavioral styles is detail and lack of, usually. I don't like detail, it's not my strength at all. I have improved considerably because I've worked at it, but often I'll get other people to help me out with whether it's paperwork or things like that that need to be very precise. I'll talk about high S and high C maybe in a different video, but I just wanted to give you a few things on the 3 topics that you mentioned as the most important that you wanted. So the need to improve sales skills, a bit of a refresh. First and foremost, you've got to focus on rapport. Remember I talked about getting one thing in common with your prospects and keep probing for that. Rapport doesn't stop ever. It's about building those relationships. And it doesn't always have to be work focused. It could be something that you've got in common. It could be that their birthday's coming up, so you say good day or send them a card or something. It could be that the dog's going to the vet and you're just checking in to see how things went. People want to know that you care, and if you care, you make them feel important and you understand where they're coming from, they will like you and you'll get them on side and they'll want to do business with you. The second part of this, which is crucial, is the qualifying part. It's learning, remember those quality questions? A quality question, again, is a question where the answer leads you towards your desired outcome. It's worth practicing. I think about this regularly and I've been doing it a very long time. I'll ask myself, what would be a good question to ask here? Or what am I looking to achieve? And then the questions kind of come because they help you. When your outcome's clear, the questions you ask sort of automatically guide you towards that outcome. The best thing that you can do is to be able to tailor your presentation, and you can't do that without qualifying exceptionally well. So qualifying and building rapport and building those relationships never stops. It's worth practicing it. And one other quick thing, this is quite a unique skill in a way, but sometimes when you've qualified really, really well, you might actually tell a prospect or customer that they don't need a certain product that you have. What I mean by that is this is kind of going like against the grain, really. This is the opposite of what most salespeople do. Most salespeople are trying to sell whatever product they can. But when you're building rapport, building the relationships, qualifying exceptionally well, you could say to somebody, John, you know what, from what you've told me, I don't think this is actually the product for you, and this is why. I think this one would suit you much better. See, what happens to the trust factor when you do that? That's right, it goes right up. It was interesting, fairly recently, probably 6 months ago, a friend of mine who's a general manager in a different industry, which actually runs a recruitment company. What she did was she's speaking to candidates that she places, but also the client, who's the company. And she was speaking to the client, i.e. the company, and I heard her say, Joanne, I've actually seen 3 candidates for the role that you've got, but I don't think they're up to your level, up to your standards. So I've actually turned them down. However, I've got a girl coming in on Monday that sounds fantastic, so I'll let you know how we go. See, by doing that, what has she done for Joanne? And what's Joanne's perception of her? That we're really looking out for her, high standards, giving great customer service. So just use those few things, keep in touch as often as you can. Always got to have reasons to make that phone call. List all the reasons, list what your outcome is before you even start. And the final thing I'll give you today in reference to productivity. It's only a short video, but I'm happy to do some other ones for you. In reference to productivity, when you wake up in the morning, I'm not sure if I shared this in the seminar or not, but a very successful man, he's a multi-millionaire, and he's a businessman. What he says is before he puts food in his mouth, he does one of three things. The first thing that he may do is do something that's going to increase the amount of prospects or customers on his database. So he may send out an email blast. He may pick up the phone and cold call. He may do something to increase the amount of customers. If he doesn't do that, the second thing that he'll do or focus on is to create an average value of his customer and increase that value. So it might be adding another product to what they already have, or it might be increasing his profit margins by actually negotiating, focusing on his negotiating skills, keeping more money in the sale, more profit. And the third thing that he may do is do something to decrease his costs. That may not apply to all of you in your business, but sometimes it's effective to do that in your home life. And if you've got a happy home life, often you're happy at work. So one of those three things before you even start the day really can be exceptionally powerful. I've actually taken this on and I feel very productive before I've even sort of got dressed. It's very powerful. So take that on if you wish. It's been great talking to you. Keep in touch, give me some feedback and let me know where you're at and what you need. I'll be happy to help. Bye for now.